Hey, Warrior Saints, Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us today. We are in the middle or towards the end of Death Week. We've been talking about the sometimes perceived morbid subject of death. And it's a reality that we will all confront in our lifetime. And I believe that the sooner we do so in a sober mind, or with a sober mind, we're able or better equipped to handle it and deal with it. We've talked about making peace with one another. Yesterday, the day before, we talked about, making your impact and fulfilling your purpose in life before that moment comes. And though I wish all of us to live long, healthy lives and painless and pain-free lives with success and joy, sometimes excuse me, that is not the case. And sometimes life is taken abruptly, quickly, tragically from us. And so sometimes people ask the question, well, what do I do with my body once I die? Is my body and my soul separated? And does the body just rot? Is it kind of a shell? Is my soul really the higher point of a human being? And does it float to heaven? And can I donate organs? And all these kinds of questions that center around the body and the soul. Let's say this. First, our understanding is that a human being is not a body, nor a soul. But a human being is a body and a soul together. It's an animate body, right? We're enlivened or quickened. You may even hear this word. And that's the tragedy of death, is that the soul and the body are parted from one another. And Christian teaching, as we read in Scripture, says that at the end of time, when after we die and are raised from the dead, that the soul and the body will reunite, right? And so, is it therefore okay for us to offer organs or make donations and so on? And by extension, even the question is, well, can I therefore cremate? So let's address some of these. Kind of a funny conversation today, but it is what it is. First, cremation. In our church, the Orthodox faith is adamantly against cremation because, as I mentioned before, we believe that the body will be raised to be reunited with the soul in the next life. And so it is ultimately a tragic assault against the gift, the sacred gift of life that God has given us. Now, I know that some people who are watching may know of loved ones or may even consider cremation themselves. That's between you and the good Lord. I'm not even judging that. I'm just telling you what the Orthodox Church puts forward. Secondly, more interesting for me in regards to organ donation. Can we give an organ to someone who, needs it? And there is, first, and again, I'm speaking from my own perspective, so there's no definitive teaching, dogmatic teaching in the Orthodox Church where it was written in a canon somewhere from centuries ago. This probably didn't exist, donating organs at the time, so it wasn't something they addressed. That being said, because there is no official teaching, it is now, and I'm saying my opinion, Father Chris, that we can use our organs if they are good for the assistance of another person. I'll tell you a true story, and forgive me if I betray confidences, but there is a person in my community a young man, and had a heart that was failing, really, like it was tragic, and, passed out multiple times and was really on the brink. Another person died and gave my parishioner his heart. And he's alive, and he's thriving, and he's so grateful, and we're so thankful, right? Like whatever that person who died did and was willing to give their heart to this person, I mean, it was huge in the life of that person, his family, and in my community, and for me personally, right? So now the question is that okay? So I would say it like this. Do you want to cremate and desecrate the body like, the sacred gift? Of course not. If you give an organ, a heart or a liver, or say a kidney to someone, do you need that in the kingdom? Will somehow you be, ill prepared to be in the presence of God? I would say probably not. That it is in some real sense that when you are in the presence of God, whether you have your organ, your heart or your lung or whatever it may be, or not, you're going to be fine if you're in the presence. Some of us may not get to be in the presence. So like, what different, really, like, okay, so if you're in the presence of God, it's a very real thing, right? All of that to say, I know that there are people out there who will disagree with me. I'm sure there are people who are going to send me dirty letters or hate mail or whatever. Fine, great, I get it. Say what you want to say. But my point of it is that the human body is a sacred gift given to us by God. It should not be desecrated. It should not be cremated or destroyed. Yet if part of that you don't need in heaven, you can give life to someone else like this young man, my opinion, again, I stress it's my opinion, share that blessing with another person, right? We don't want to be, I don't know how else I would say it, right? I mean, that seems pretty fair. It is, the body is perceived in the Orthodox faith as a sacred gift from God. We do not worship it, nor is it a shell of wickedness that is to be discarded. It is a part of what it means to be a human being. It is a gift, but if part of that gift can show love for another human being and ultimately life for another human being, my opinion is go for it. You disagree? Great. You want to yell at me? Great. Otherwise, the idea behind it is always the same, and this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Really, it is about being crucifixional, and that is that we're always looking forward to serve the other person, the sacrifice of myself for the sake of other, right? This is what it means to be a warrior saint in the first place. You're interested in it. You want to learn how to be a sacrificial man or woman? Visit Warrior Saints. Subscribe to the Way of the Warrior Saint. Watch the videos. Change your life. Love you, beautiful people. We're going to be back tomorrow to talk about how you can die before you die so you don't die when you die. As always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.